by Saeed Maroof Ali. Can I call Mr. Ali to enter to ask his question? Yes, thanks. There seems to be an endemic problem of fly tipping in Coppice, Werneth, Primrose Bank, and I'm not sure if anyone have been prosecuted to date in the Werneth Ward. It's not difficult to gather evidence from the rubbish that is dumped to link it back to the culprits. I think it's crucial that the council is prepared to prosecute and then publicise it in the local media to deter others. Once someone is prosecuted in Werneth Ward, the word would soon be spread. The policy of naming and shaming has worked in other local authorities areas. A short walk around Coppice, and it's easily noticeable that a significant number of alleyways are affected by fly tipping. It's most of the culprits believe that it's normal to dump their rubbish on alleyways, and there is a perception that they can do it with impunity, as the chances of being prosecuted is so small. I think the key is for the council to send out a message to the community of zero tolerance if they are serious about addressing the issue. To my knowledge, there hasn't been anyone prosecuted for fly tipping from the Coppice, Werneth and Primrose area. However, there has been prosecution of the wards. As with lots of things, I know the council works hard to resolve issues with the public and are always aware of it. I think the new reporting system is a great idea, but this needs to be followed up with more awareness and communication with the local community. Maybe a leaflet can be distributed to local mosques, churches and imams playing their part in informing residents, etc. will help. Can I ask what the value of the fixed penalty notice is, or is it dependent on the individual case? Maybe it's one for councillors to review and see if an increase would be more effective. I understand that there is a range of fines that local authorities can impose up to a maximum of £400. The current FBN fine is £80 or £50 if paid within the first 2 weeks. I'm sure all of us would agree that £50 fine isn't much of a deterrent and needs to be increased significantly to be effective. Just a thought, before the budget cuts again, I am sure the council used to provide a free bulk collection service, whereas now they charge £17 for up to 3 items. So someone clearing a house, it would obviously cost them a lot more. I am wondering if there is any mileage in considering bringing the free service back to and costs recouped from increased penalty charges. At the moment, it must be costing the council more in increased call-out to fly tipping incidents. Therefore, if the costs of providing a free service can be offset with the increased penalty charges and less call-out for fly tipping, then I think the viable argument could be made. Thoughts? I call on Councillor Brownie to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Ali. There have been a number of prosecutions in Werneth and the surrounding areas, but although the enforcement team always looks for evidence and they can mount a prosecution, they can't always do that. If they can't find that evidence, then obviously they can't issue a fixed penalty notice. Whenever prosecutions are taken, there is publicity via social media and a press release which is picked up by local papers. But whilst we can name and shame convicted offenders, we can't do that where a fixed penalty notice is issued, as this alone is not held to be proof of guilt. We entirely agree with you that dumping waste is an eyesore and causing problems, not just in Oldham in fairness, but across the country, and it's completely unacceptable, and we constantly urge people who know of people who are doing it to report it so that we can and we will take action against them. We are already doing a lot of work and trying different things in different neighbourhoods to raise awareness, but I appreciate the idea of talking to mosques and churches, and this is something we will certainly look into further. And I can also confirm that we will review the level of penalty charge that we put on through a fixed penalty notice. In terms of removing the charge for bulky waste based on increased fines, this would not cover the cost. And there are other issues to be taken into account. Much of the waste that's dumped isn't bulky in nature and is just general household waste. Secondly, when somebody is clearing out a house, which is likely to be the result of a tenant moving out, this is part of the cost of the landlord operating a business and is regarded as trade waste, and it would not be appropriate to subsidise that as a free service. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.